Right. So we just finished up a con, which was sort of like a query, but a little bit different. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the Reclassify tool or Reclass tool, and we're going to find that in our geoprocessing tools. And what this is going to allow us to do is to take data, especially data with a VAT table, although it can be data that it is continuous, and we can give it new categories. So our input raster for this one is going to be our land cover in our study area, and that's what we're taking a look at on the screen. Our reclass field is value. Down here, there's some options between unique and classify, and this is really important because this is where a lot of people get caught up. If you click the classify button, what it will do is it'll ask you the number of classes. In this case, we're going to give it, let's say 4 classes. And in there, what we're going to have is now a starting point and an ending point. If you look in the table of contents, you'll see that our values start at 21 and then they go through 82, but there's some skipped values in there. Land use and land cover have these categories that are created by USGS. They're standardized, but sometimes you want to kind of cluster parts and pieces together because maybe you find that one part of it might be pasture land and you don't want it to be called vegetation. And so you're going to give it new categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 21 through 31. So we're going to start at 21 and end at 31. And that is going to be our new value of 1. And that's going to be our impervious surfaces. So somewhere you have to kind of keep track that 1 equals impervious surface. Now, every time you do this, these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, they can all change based on what you need it to be. So when you do the lab, you're going to find that 1 is actually going to be representative of water. In this case, it's impervious surfaces. So this is where metadata becomes very important. In our start and end on our second one, it's going to be 41 through 71. So that's going to include our values that are showing up as 41, 42, and 71. That's going to become 2. They're all going to become 2s. Our third one is going to be 81, and it's just going to be the value 81. So it's 81 to 81. And that's going to be our number 3. And that our second one is vegetation. This one's going to be our field vegetation. So kind of like pasture land or other types of fields. And then our last one is going to be our category of other, and that's going to be 82. And other is typically one that you use for things that you really don't need in your raster output. So we're going to give our output raster a name, and we're going to call it Reclass LC SA because it's the reclass of our land cover in our study area. And we're just going to hit run. Now, you can use reclass for lots of different reasons. These are sometimes used when you're trying to find highs and lows of something. So maybe you want, or something that's a best fit. So remembering our gecko, our leaf-tailed gecko from Madagascar, that its habitat suitability, maybe 5 means that it has high suitability and 1 means it has low suitability. So we're able to look at the elevations that meet the criteria in that. So when it outputs, one of the things that's going to happen is it's going to give it new colors. You can always change that symbology, but now all of our numbers are going to be changed to either a value of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you're doing the cartography of this, of course, you can change those to say be something more meaningful, or you can add another attribute to the table that actually says impervious, vegetation, field vegetation, and other. And that allows us to do that. And that's the Reclassify tool.